this thing. It should be of a scale which actually takes the load out of the present urban fabric. So this I feel that it is a, if sir can take it forward, I think
nothing like
nothing.
He himself has propagated that idea right now that a Goa plan is better. Or Nilesh formula.
No.
I would call it Nilesh formula for now.
No. I would say that ultimately we were all looking at Goa as a one entity in terms of formulation of that regional plan. And the regional plan
But still, regional plan was without ODPs.
No. Regional plan has reached the detailing which is very close to the ODPs. Ultimately, what is an ODP? It only provides a developmental focus of roads, open spaces and all other civic amenities to be provided. And that is the reason why I was saying it is good to introspect whether those ODPs in the past 25 years have yielded any results. If they have not, then probably we should try out adopting the whole Goa regional plan as a focus, so that the entire developmental thrust of the government, which is the agenda of development for the citizens, is implemented through a time-bound development process of a map, rather than looking at piecemeal issues of raising FAR certain way, giving extra FAR to the hotels, or granting some extra FAR, or including a green area into a settlement zone. So all these issues should be addressed in a time-bound manner. And secondly, with a greater amount of transparency, because that was my last point to that now even when the ODP objections, suggestions and all the applications have come, what are the guidelines and parameters that are going to be set to scrutinize these applications? Who is going to decide whether these are going to be granted?
Genuine or not genuine? Okay. Then before I take a small break, Goa plan or that 4 talukas plan? What is more sensible and practical? 4 talukas. Okay, so Nilesh has one supporter on this plan.
Because if one works on the Goa plan, even the smaller areas are not in detail. Outline development plan is a detailed, focused study plan. And if we work on it as a Goa plan, you won't have this, nor you won't have that. So it's better that for...
Let's start with this and then move ahead.
I have my counter argument to this.
Quickly.
तुम्ही ज्यांना ओडीपी करता त्यांना तुम्ही बरेल्ले स्लेटेर पुसून दुसरे कितें बरयता ऑलरेडी बरेल्ले आसा ताजेर पण ज्यांना भायर करतात त्यांना तुम्ही नवी स्लेटेर काम करता दिस इज द डिफरन्स अँड आय फील दॅट अनलेस यू हॅव ऑपॉर्च्युनिटी सी हियर तुम्ही पुसून पुसून कितले करतले कितें चेंज करतले तुम्ही तातून ओडीपीन
I disagree with that. If you have to rework the cities, there is still a lot of scope. Still new ways, new methods to decongest the existing cities. It's still possible. Like I wouldn't say that.
My only apprehension is that तुलनेन like फाटले 25 वर्षांनी आणि प्लॅन तयार केला तेच तुम्ही मुखाल्लो जर 10 वर्षाचो प्लॅन तयार करतात how much optimistic we should be, that is my question. I'll stop at that, take a small break and come back 2 मिनिटांनी परत येतात. परत एक फावट येवकार तुमकां आमी एक प्लॅन जाय 2 प्लॅन जाय 4 तालुक्यांचो प्लॅन जाय काय आतां आसतेच बरें आहा अशी डिबेटाक पाविल्ले बट आय एम स्टॉपिंग एट दॅट आय एम ओपनिंग अप दीस फॉर द ऑडियन्स सो दॅट होच प्रश्नूय मुखार व्हरपा जाता आनी नवीन प्रश्नूय घेवपा जातात.
The question I'd like to ask to Milind and Nilesh is, while we were debating on the one plan for Goa or the 4 talukas, I think what we have missed here is when we say taluka, we are not looking at only Mapsa or only things. So we are looking at that and the surrounding areas. So actually we are addressing the same point that you are making. It's just that we decide how much is it. Is that right? Would that solve the problem?
Yes, exactly. See, because we are limiting our design proposal or the planning proposal to a particular area only, and development cannot be within a boundary. It has to go beyond the boundaries and to the future growth centers also. So that is exactly the reason why it should be detailed out. That's what I made a comment that it should be an ODP for Goa. So all this, and only difference between the regional plan and the ODP is the regional plan talks of regional level issues of state, economic generation, everything. There are many other issues which tie up the entire document together. But in terms of the ODP, it's the physical planning aspect that we require to concentrate on.
Nilesh?
That is precisely the point I was making. Whether you like it or not, development will spill over from the cities into the neighboring villages, today or 5 years later. So why not plan for that? Just take it into consideration that your villages are going to see urbanization. Most of the villages in Goa are seeing already urbanized. But in the next 10 years, you will see a lot of more villages adjoining these major urban centers getting urbanized. So let's plan for that. That is the point I was trying to make.
मोस्ट ऑफ द पॅनलिस्ट हांगा जे येयला तेंच्यांनी एग्री केले की पीडीएचे जे काम आसा भितर दोन आसा, एक म्हटल्यार रेग्युलेटरी ऑथॉरिटी जे प्लॅन्स अप्रूव करता आनी दुसरें प्लॅनिंग. आमी पयला फाटले 25 वर्सां पीडीए फक्त रेग्युलेटरी प्लॅनिंग कांयच करिना. म्हजो क्वेश्चन डेप्युटी सीएमाक आसा की ह्या प्लॅटफॉर्माचेर तुम्ही आमकां एक आश्वासन दिवंक शकता की तुम्ही पीडीएन असो सेल क्रिएट करतले की दॅट वील लूक आफ्टर प्लॅनिंग एज मॅडम एज सेड वीच वील लूक आफ्टर फॉर 10 years 10 वर्सां तेंचें काम फक्त प्लॅनिंग आसतलें आणि भितर एक कोण तरी रिस्पॉन्सिबल मनीस आसतलो तो हो प्लॅन फुडें काडटलो आनी लोकां फुडें मांडटलो. थँक्यू.
जाता ब्युरोक्रेसी बरोबर अशें डील करपाक टाउन प्लॅनराक सांगपाचें की तुमी प्लॅन करपाक जाय म्हणून.
प्रश्न आसतलो कितके पासून प्लॅन करूया आता पळय ते म्हणजे सांगला पळय तशें बाउंड्रीज वाडटल्यो वाडोकूच जाय म्हणटा. पूण प्रश्न कितें बाउंड्री वाडटाना पंचायत म्हणटा आपणाक शहरीकरण जाल्यार चलता पूण इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर तयार करपाची गरज ना हो विशय आसता. सगळे आमचे कोस्टल पंचायती शहरीकरण जाल्ले आहा कंप्लिटली अर्बनायज्ड. खंय द इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर करपाक तयार नासतात. बरे रस्ते स्वच्छता गार्बेज सुवेज हे सगळे विशय आमचे आतांचे म्हणजे शहरीकरणाचे विशय. जेन्ना शहरीकरण जाता तेचे बरोबर आमची तयारी आसपाक जाय इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर अपग्रेडिंग करपाक. आयज सादारण उदाहरण कलंगूट सारकी पंचायत म्हापशा शहरा परस चड गार्बेज तयार करता पूण डिस्पोजल सिस्टम खंय आहा? डिस्पोजल सिस्टम ना. पूण फाल्यां तर म्हणशी तूं तेजी म्युनिसिपालिटी करया नाका म्हणटाले पंचायतूच आसपाक जाय. मान्य केलें आसूंक जाय पूण नगर पंचायत तरी करी येता. म्युनिसिपालिटी ना केल्यार नगर अपग्रेडेशन जावपा जाय न्हू. तुजी कॅपॅसिटी बिल्डींग करपा जाय. तो म्हणटा थंय पीडीएची कॅपॅसिटी बिल्डींग जावपा जाय. दे हॅव टू इम्प्रूव द कॅपॅसिटीज. म्हणजे आतां सद्या कितें आहा 4 लोक काम करतात फक्त ते अप्रुवल्स दितात फक्त फुडलें प्लॅनिंग कोण करता? थंय यंत्रणाच ना भितर.
एक सेल
यंत्रणा तयार करपाक
सजेशन दिला की एक सेल आसतो
यंत्रणा तयार करपाक जाय.
खरें ते आसपाक जायना कारण तांची कामूच ते काम करपा खातीर म्हणून एक वेगळो सेल तयार करप.
हांव एकूच म्हणटा की यंत्रणा आसपाक जाय जे आमचे मंत्री सांगता तशें. पूण दुसरी वस्त कितें आसा आतां पीडीए हांव सरच आय एम टॉकिंग अबाउट लास्ट सो मेनी इयर्स ते आतां एक डेव्हलपमेंट चार्ज दे आर कलेक्टींग फ्रॉम एवरी एप्लिकंट ऑफ हू इज डुईंग डेव्हलपमेंट अंडर सेक्शन 44 ऑफ टाउन प्लॅनिंग. तो डेव्हलपमेंट चार्ज कलेक्ट करून करून कितें करतात ते? कसलो डेव्हलपमेंट तेणी केला तेणी ते ताची एक फॅक्ट फायंडींग करून लोकांक सांगचें की डेव्हलपमेंट करतले काय वाय आर दे कलेक्टींग दीस डेव्हलपमेंट चार्ज? कांयच हेजे बद्दल दीस इज बीन हॅपनिंग ओवर नॉट नाव इट्स लास्ट 25 years वी आर टॉकिंग. सो इट इज व्हेरी इम्पेरेटिव्ह दॅट वी डू अ लिटल बीट ऑफ अ इंट्रोस्पेक्शन ऑन दीस. डेव्हलपमेंट चार्ज कलेक्ट जाता, इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर टॅक्स कलेक्ट जाता. कितले इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर तयार जाता कितले हें तयार. लोक फारीक करता पयशे अपेक्षा आसता की थोडे रस्तो जातलो थोडे कितें उदकाची पायपलायन पावतली अपग्रेडेशन पावर 2 ट्रान्सफॉर्मर जातले काय जावपाची तयारीच ना.
हातून एक इश्यू आयिल्लो. आय हॅड अटेंडेड अ स्मार्ट सिटी कन्वेंशन वेर आय हॅड प्रपोज्ड वन थिंग. See, because we are talking of public-private participation, if we put all the onus onto the government to perform, I think it might never happen. So slowly the private sector has to take the role of the, providing the infrastructure. And I had mooted one thing wherein if a particular X party, a private developer gains points by providing for a park, providing for a footpath, providing for a bus stop, providing for a, toilet, he gains FAR points and then he is compensated. I think some solution like this would be very, very good.
No, I will welcome Milind Bab's suggestion. Kirak Nilesh, of course, is a long-term resident of Vasco City. But as a keen observer of Vasco, I will tell you, Vasco is being cornered by lot of central government agencies and public sector, right from MPT to the airport, Indian Oil, and all other big agencies have cornered practically 60% of Vasco.
It can be even
How
made
much?
mandatory.
How much have been they partners in development of Vasco?
Actually,
The government has not even probably the PDA.
mandatory to do certain.
The PDA could have made a very concerted attempt to draw them in to benefit the citizens, because the Vasco citizens are suffering a lot actually. due to
नाही
that.
हो हे पडटा की प्रायव्हेट पार्टीनी केल्ली डेव्हलपमेंट देन यू गेन FAR पॉइंट्स अँड देन यू आर कॉम्पेन्सेटेड परवडटा
ना परवडटा न परवडपाचो प्रश्नूच ना. द पॉयंट इज हाऊ डू वी डू दिस डेव्हलपमेंट. To do this development, again we come back, we need a plan, we need to know where to build a road, where to...
No, you follow the model of development that is being done, and if you make the public sector and private, I am saying public sector because they are looked as private, but they are also central government agencies. If they are made partners in the progress of that, then you draw out a revenue model and a development model to also suit as a part of that cell that Chandan Bab was talking about. Then that cell can gain teeth in terms of how could be its roadmap to function.
See, Tulio, even presently, if that cell takes the role of a nodal agency to coordinate these efforts, it's enough.
It's enough.
It's enough. I think that is the starting point.
Next.
Hello.
Yeah.
I have a question for Milind. All right. And the question will be in parts, because the first part I want to know, what is the study that is presented along with the ODP? Now, when there was a regional plan, there was a detailed study of demographics, opportunities, and a number of other things, transportation, etc., etc. What is the study that goes with an ODP, which is published, so that the people know how the government is going about the ODP and prepares the people so that they understand the processes so they can participate with that?
I think it's a very relevant issue, Armin. See, unless I think data collection and data dissemination is a very important part in taking decisions. See, unless when you require people's participation, most of the places like in New Zealand or in Australia, they have this public participatory mechanism, wherein the study is put open, the study is done by the government or by a consultant, it is put open to people. People then realize, get educated about, they give their suggestions. Then the suggestions are incorporated by a professional, because it has to be put in a particular discipline. And I think it's a very relevant point. This is a way in which only public participation can be put into the ODP. Here if you see, the ODP is like 10 दिसान कर, 2 दिसान कर, असे जाऊन जायना. See, this element is very important, that study put to public, opinions reformulated and then notified. This process should not be destroyed.
The second question is, we are saying that when we prepare a regional plan, they are dealing with regional issues. The ODPs are not touched because regional issues say that this has to deal with a larger vision of the whole thing. How does the integration of a vision for the city happen with the vision for the state?
I think this is a very important issue also. And even I think I would point out in terms of the regional plan for the state, I think everything that we do should be towards the central idea. What does Goa want? What is the scale of what it wants? What is the flavor of what it wants? And anything that we do a bus, we do tourism infrastructure, we do sewerage, we do water supply, we do our buildings, should fit into the overall objective. There is no two separate aims and objectives. There is only one objective, vision for the next 20 years. You can't think, I don't want to think beyond 20 years, but vision for the next 20 years, this is my objective. I want to see Goa as A, B, C, D, E, and everything that I do should converge with it.
I'll just, Brian is not on the panel, but I'll take you in. Was a mudda, sir. Regional, you have been an integral part of preparation of regional plan. Other ODPs. तुमको दिसता कि both these things are in tandem with each other. काय regional plan तुम्ही एक वेगळ्या स्केलाचेर तयार केला आणि ODP एक वेगळ्या स्केलाचेर आसा. What is your frank opinion?